Bill. So can I get your full name?
Yes, I'm William David Duckworth. I was born January 1st, 1954 in Toronto.
Okay. So did you understand at the time why you were placed in Camp 30?
Well, yeah, I understood very well why I was put in there in Camp 30. It started many years beforehand when I entered being a Crown Ward and going through multiple foster homes. And previously, I was in Cobra Training School for Boys, which was also a military, high-ranking, I would say, I guess, jail for high-ranking Nazi war officers, as Bowmanville Training School for Boys became known as Camp 30 during the wartime. Then after the wartime, then they recruited all the boys again, and it was classified as not wanted by anybody. They were criticized as being really bad kids, bad. You know, you're not going to school, you're not listening to your mom. You know, so we're going to reform you. Reforming in the definition is not the same definition in the reformatory training schools for boys. It's it's all jail, and it's all of growing up in a military style. So, and in 1968, I was in a foster home. I arrived home after school after New Year's, and the government guy was there, and he told me to get in the back of the car, no questions asked, and nothing being told, just get in the car. So here I am, driving in the back of a car, going up the 401, haven't got a clue where I'm going. All I know is the man says, you're not going back in that house anymore, drop your books, get in that effing car. Well, here we are, we're going up the 401, and I see, welcome to Bowmanville. Okay, never been here before, never heard of it before. Then we go down this road called Lambs Road. Pinecrest Training School for Boys. Well, I know deep in my heart this ain't a transfer to a new school and another foster home around the corner. This looked too institutionalized for me. So my first day there, well, I pulls in with the government man.
So just to ask them maybe, okay, so can you describe what it was like?
Can you describe what it was like when you were first placed in Camp 30?
Yeah, I'm going to tell you right now. This is my first day, because I jumped out of the car of the government guy when we got to the land. He drove up the administration, told them they got a whole bunch of staff, and they all came with a vehicle and tracked me down on Lambs Road. Where I was running, I don't know. I just run home back to my mom, wherever that was be. So for that, they got me back. They got me at the administration building. And I remember there was a jail cell there. First one I've ever seen. It was a big steel door. It had, approximately maybe 4x4 little unbreakable window in it. And I guess this is to teach me that this place you're not going to run away. So we're going to give you a little lesson here. So I probably stayed at least minimum 24 hours in this cell. I just got out of a car coming from Scarborough. And it's like, I don't know where I am. Don't know how long I'm going to be here. And all I see is a bunch of staff and a bunch of boys being organized and a bunch of boys lining up in double lines and marching left, right, hands out, legs up, keeping time. And I found out what that was all about because when I lived there, everywhere you went, you marched. You marched to breakfast, you marched back. You marched to school, you marched back, you marched everywhere. Your day started off around 7 o'clock in the morning. You get up, you strip your bed, you flip your mattress, you make your bed. If you do that out of order, the staff will come and strip your bed and tell you to remake that bed again. All hospital corners, all strict, pants tied, or shoelaces all done up, spit shine all your shoes, shirts tucked in, all brass buttons looking nice and shiny because we had buttons on our shirts and buttons on our pants and we wore all blue.
Wow.
Okay.
How old were you, Bill, when you got there?
When I got there, I arrived there at I was just about turning 14 then.
Wow.
Could you see any signs of the German soldiers in Camp 30?
No, we didn't see any notice of that then as kids and such and that. But as word would be, you heard all types of stories, and we would go looking and all that. But as far as we've ever, did learn, everything was all buried in. But we did know that it had been a boys' training school before the war, and when the Second World War was on, they emptied it with the kids, and they filled it up with all of Hitler's high-end officers, because that's where they jailed them. And since they jailed them there, then they end up putting more money in. They put a swimming pool in there for them. They made a 5-class hotel, the best there is. The best cabin. Even the prisoners of war, the officers, thank Canada for the facilities. They literally thanked us for, it was the best camp to be in. Other than that, you had remnants, and I'll say remnants, and that would be the staff. Because as we know, the British were the ones that were fighting the Germans. So a lot of British men then became guards, and thereafter any job relating to the government. So most of all our staff had been in the era of, that worked in the government or whatever, or, at the time of 1948, I believe, when it closed. Yes, to where it is now. Yeah, they hired a lot of British staff, and they're, to me, not to be prejudiced, but they were really snubbed up little bastards. They had no respect for us kids. It was just like what we say is, goals. I tell you to eat, you eat.
Yeah.
I don't tell you to eat, you're not supposed to eat. As I say, you march everywhere. You go to a table, you don't sit down till about 30 others are all sitting down. You don't start eating till the boss tells you to start eating. When he says finish, you finish. I learned a lesson. I'll tell you a lesson I learned I've never seen it before in my life. We had potatoes and we had gravy. And I remember we had chocolate pudding. That was a big thing for us because we never got sugars or treats or anything and all that. And all of a sudden, the guard comes over and he takes my whole meal. He takes my chocolate pudding. Asks anybody else want one off my plate. This guy wants my dessert. This guy wants this. Okay. So I got none. My lesson was, you didn't take a piece of bread in your hand and dip it in the gravy and eat it. You used a knife and a fork. You used a fork to dip the bread in it and eat it. If not, you lose your meal. Now you just learned a lesson. Don't make it again. Because that'll cost you another meal. This is just another snubby British, the way they are, It's their attitudes. It's their attitudes. And the discipline things up, nasty disciplines.
Do you remember any of the other boys?
Yeah. Funny you ask me that. One specifically guy I remember. I used to be able to look after myself, and I did very, very well. No one, took advantage of me as I've watched others get advantage of because they didn't have it in them to fight and retaliate. So, they get smacked in the face, punched in the head, and be sitting like that, guy come on, nothing. That's just daily stuff. There was this guy, Ricky Lewis, he's from London, Ontario. He thought he was really so shit hot. I'll never forget this little prick. He had blonde hair, not a bad looking kid, and he had a way about him that he would get in with kind of the odd, maybe bigger guy and be the sucky kind of kiss ass kind of kid for him. And I remember my last day there, I heard that I was being sent home to my biological mom for the first time in, over 9 years. So I'm like, whoa, this is great. And I remember sitting at my locker. We all had lockers, and where you sit is just in front of it. You had very limited spaces of your own, and you don't cross anybody else's space. This is my space, fuck off. That's yours, this is mine. You don't touch anybody. I put that piece of paper there. That's mine. You don't take it. Consequences for everything. Okay? Mostly it's always a fight. Because you're living with them. You're sleeping with them. You're eating with them. You're going to school. So you might as well settle the fight right there and then because, hell, man, you might be together for 2 years. So you might as well settle it right there and then. Right? Get it over with. So,
how did you cope with the treatment you received?
I became very, very calloused inside. I had to become calloused because if you had an unhappiness of missing your family, if you had an unhappiness, I didn't have too many of those, but I witnessed it by other kids, or they'd be crying, or they get in a fight and they get beat up and they're crying. There's absolutely zero people to go and talk to and get comfort. If you think your mom is here, forget it, you're wrong. And none of your other parents are here. Don't cry. Someone's going to look after you and give you something to cry for. 30 other kids that you may be living in one house with, you think the other 29 want to hear you cry? No. The only crying they hear is when someone's getting punched out. So if you're not getting punched out, you got no reason to cry. Here, we're going to punch you out, give you something to cry about. This is the mentality of it all. And the guards would accept it all the time. Just like this Jerry Lewis guy on my last day. We'll get back to it. I'm sitting there. He comes up and he pushes me. He says, oh, you think you're so tough, eh, Doug? I've been living with this punk for like 9 months. Just freaking, I'll always avoid him. And my last day, he come up and he pushed me in the head. And a staff member, I don't know what his name was anyways, he said, Doc, are you going to take that from him? I said, tonight I am, yeah. And I'm leaving tomorrow. And there's no way, and I remember this is exactly what I said. There's no way I'm fucking it up because of him. He says, I'm leaving the room. Oh man, we know what that is. Wham! I smacked that guy so freaking hard. He went back against that lockers there, and I wham! That guy had a bloody face like that, crying. Now he had something to fucking cry about. Sorry my word, but he had something to cry about. He thought he was going to take advantage of me, that I'm going to take all the slapping. Well, that was. Because I don't know if they're going to cancel me that I can't go, you know what I mean? But when that guard said I'm leaving, we all know what that is. The fight's on. And there's no retaliation then afterwards, for those ones. The guards don't care.
It's putting the bully in his place, right? Absolutely.
Can you describe the tunnel used to bring the German prisoners into the camp?
See this again?
Can you describe the tunnel used to bring the German prisoners into the camp?
No. The story goes they weren't tunnels to bring them in. They were captured enemies of the war. Camp 30 was specifically just for officers only, no legmen. So they were captured, they were jailed. As I say, it was a five-star hotel for them back then. But at Hitler's request, as the story goes, and history goes, he has sent his highest messenger here to Canada to get the message to the high-end officers in there, demanding that they start digging tunnels to escape. But they never did escape. But they tried many, many times. And if you look into the history, you will find that. And it's almost similar as the Great Escape. You know the movie The Great Escape with Steve McQueen and the Germans and such? Damn near similar, because that's what we're doing, you know, with Curly, Larry, and Moe, the tunnels and all that. And then all the other tunnels that they were digging to try and get out of, you know, to escape. You know, and the same thing happened right here on this property.
So did you ever get to see the tunnels?
No, we never. No, they was all buried. You know, that'd be all buried in. The ends of the tunnels would always be outside the fence, which is natural.
Right.
Because it was all field and all that back then. It probably is still now on Lambs Road there. But no, I never knew even where I was going. No, just get in the effing car. That's how they treated me, eh? Like I was in, you know, like 11 different places, you know, all together, you know, foster home, orphanage, foster home, orphanage, Cobra training school, foster home, back into Bowmanville training school. Then they sent me back to my mother. She's got 3 children. 2 I don't even know. And she is poor as poor. She has nothing, this poor lady. And that's who they sent me home to. We didn't even have a washroom in the house. No running water. They sent me home there.
Is that because they closed the camp?
No.
No, you were just discharged.
They just said,
we're done with you.
Yeah, we're done
You're
with
reformed. Wow.
And as the suing goes on here, every one of us that are in there, we never got papers or instructions or nothing when we are not crown of the ward anymore. Like, we're all lost. Like, who was looking after me all these years? Who was all responsible? The children's aid, they were only part. And then I'm part because I'm a ward. So I got this big provincial government. Now I got this big federal government. They're both, like, as a kid, it's so confusing, you know. And the boys that I've been with, I've got acquaintances that are doing 64 years in jail, 50 years in jail, 40 years in prison. These guys are never coming up. They all came from where I came from.
How did it feel being encaged in a barbed wire fence?
I wouldn't say, no, it wasn't the barbed wire that you would see. We were all fenced, you know, for the property. But all like that barbed wire, that would have been all taken down, you know, during the wartime and that then. But reading what I've read, why would they want to run away from the place? It was a 5-star hotel, the best place, to complete the war. Except they had orders from Hitler.
Yeah.
They can get out. And these aren't just, don't forget, these aren't the labor guys. These are all 4 stars, the ones that are entitled to do the labor and take out and escape. Yeah. Okay? Can we help you?
boss, yeah, right?
What was a typical day like in Camp 30?
Oh, a typical day at Camp 30, known as Bowmanville Training School, a.k.a. Pine Ridge Training School for Boys. You would get up at 7 in the morning. You would strip your bed, you would flip your mattress, you will make your bed, you will hospital cord it. You will fold all your clothes up in proper order in an 8-inch box. Anything that has Ontario must be folded with Ontario specifically showing. That would be your towels and such like that. You fold your socks, you fold your under. Everything's got to go in a 8-inch box. So at night, you fold your daily clothes all night. Put your pajamas on, okay? So next morning, you're going to do your bed and everything. And do that. You get up, you go to the washroom, brush your teeth, go back to your bed, and you stand at your bed like this. And then they come and inspect your bed. And if there's something wrong, or if he drops a coin and it doesn't flip, well, the bed's not pulled tight enough. Start it over again. One time I go to make the bed, I get it all back together, he's stripping it back down. Well, I'm not saying much, I'm wondering because you're not letting I forgot to flip the mattress. But I already flipped the mattress. Doesn't matter. You make a bed, every time you do it, you flip the mattress. I don't care if you make your bed 100 times a day. Strip it, flip it, make it. Strip it, flip it, and make it. That's the way it goes. That's how it's written. That's how you do it. Okay. Then we would all line up, single file inside whatever house we're in. And we go outside, and then we start getting in lines of 2, space off, put your arms up, give your space off. And then we would just march off for breakfast. And then after breakfast, we march back. And pretty well by then, if we're doing school there, then you're going all through your school. That'll be casual walking there, casual walking back. When you go back to your house and then you go to lunch, then double file going over there and double file going back. And you go back and you finish your school and you march back, boo, boo, boo. And sometimes you have some spare time. It's just we're all chitting and chatting around, nothing much really doing. The biggest entertainment, I guess, was trying not fight and whatever, or there'll be a weekly fight because one of the staff members will stand it up, so there's a weekly fight with it, and
Was their entertainment?
Well, yeah.
Your conflicts were their entertainment.
Yeah. Oh, and like in Colbert Training School where I was for younger before I graduated here to Bowmanville, there we put the sheet over a particular guy, and then you have like 10 kids just punch them until it's called the blood sheet. So as soon as you see the blood start coming through the sheet, well then, that's enough for the guy.
And that was entertainment.
Yeah. But as I said, now here's the hardest part. I've seen younger kids cry. They're in the freaking corner. They got no one to cuddle into. They got no one to talk to. So you see, I calloused up. Callous. It don't bother me.
To protect yourself.
Doesn't bother me. Even as an adult today, I don't maintain things. I'd rather give everything I have than maintain it. Because all my life, nothing's ever been forever or a long time. Everything's just, it's gone. See, I'm used to that. It's gone. If I had $1 million today, it's gone tomorrow. Sure, I have a great day today helping everybody I know. What I buy? I buy my medicine and a pack of cigarettes. I don't drink pop. Shouldn't even be drinking tea or coffee, but I do now and then. I spend no. I'm not used to it. I go buy things because this goes back to when I was a kid with my mom. Everything was used because we had nothing. Today, I buy everything used. Hell, I got this for free. I got this for free. I got this off of Riley. I don't pay for nothing. I don't waste money on clothes. But that's all part of bringing up. This life has made me who I am today. This here, I'll tell you how it has changed me. Very important. All my life, I have a hard time compromising with men. Men, I'd rather punch them right in the fucking face. I don't trust men. A bunch of fucking lying bastards. I've lived with you bastards. You know what I mean? When you grow up like me, you grow eyes in the back of your head. Because you're always going to be aware. Because you can't have trust growing up like me. I've been abandoned. You know how many times I've been abandoned? People don't know how bad the word abandonment is. Look it up. Like the true meaning of abandonment and how it'll affect people in life. It's a lesson for you to check out. Abandonment can crush a person this age. Crush them all their life.
What was your sleeping arrangement like? And was it
sleeping arrangement in Bowmanville Training School? It was single cot beds, a lineup all along the perimeter walls, and then there'd be like 25, 30 of us in a house, and then there's several other houses and kids that we would never get to meet unless we're in school. That's where we would all meet, in the school. On the property, the big main huge building. I was trying to look for really good, old pictures, but most of the pictures I find now is because of all the ruins of people done over the last years. If you look, and look at it, they're all ruins, graffiti and all that. I was trying to get. You haven't looked?
No, we're going to look. It's going to be part of his
project. I thought you already looked at it.
Oh, we did. We did do some, but he's going to put together a whole presentation of the camp.
Okay, Michelle.
Okay, let him finish.
Yeah. What I asked you to do on that, Kim comes with us.
Maybe, if you have that already, that would be even better.
I asked her to print something up today.
Oh, that would be great. Okay, so he just wants to ask you.
Mm-hmm.
He just got. Oh yeah, now that's a good one, nice.
Do you have any good memories of Camp 30?
No. Punching Ricky, you can write that down. Punching Ricky Lewis right square in the face and teaching him the duck has got it. The duck's got it, buddy. You hit me once. It's only because I thought if that guard see me hit you, I'm not going to get out of here tomorrow for good. It's the only reason I let you hit me, Ricky Lewis. But you got her back as soon as that guard said, Duck, you going to take that? That's what I said. I remember it just like I am now. I said, today I am.
Well, smart. It was a smart response, right? You were looking at your future.
Yeah. Wow. No, because see, I've always been me. I follow nobody. Mm-hmm. In those places, everybody follows somebody. Because there's always something.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Take a deep breath.
Hell. What? It's like I got really dry.
Well, we've been keeping you talking for a while.
Oh, I got really, really dry.
Well, thank you for your time.
No, let's dig in more. There's some more you're missing.
You all right?
Chores.
Yep, I'm very good.
And discipline. Chores and discipline.
You want to ask about that?
There's all kinds of disciplines that they make you do. For an example, the guard don't like you. It's a Saturday. You don't gotta go to school. Kids are out in the ground just running around, maybe kicking a ball. See the sidewalk square? There's a sidewalk square, just like you get out there, one square. Here's a box. It's got 200 toothbrushes in it, son. Here's a bucket. Here's some soap. Start cleaning that. You know when you're done? When I tell you you're done.
Yeah.
You see toothbrushes? I want every bristle rubbed off of that and put back in a box. When the box is empty, I'll give you another one. Okay?
For what purpose? Just
Because I want you to.
Just to prove that they had authority
Oh,
over
yeah.
power. It was a power thing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, look, I'll show you another favorite thing they do. Middle of the friggin' night. You know, in the middle of the night, if one kid even made a remark, when you're standing there, get your up on your tippy toes, and you stand like this, and don't move.
Wow.
And you might stand there for an hour. You just got ripped out of bed, and he told you to do that. He might tell you to take off your clothes and stand there and do it because the faggot wants to look at your ass or come close to you or whatever. Bullshit like that. You know, you try and hold out a pair of boots or a pair of skates like this. Don't bend your elbows because we got dust brooms. They'll beat you in the elbows. This is torture. And you hold them out like this. Don't bend your elbows. After a couple of minutes, buddy, these things end up feeling like 100 pounds apiece. You know, stuff
And
like
why?
that.
Why would they do that?
Because they want you to do
just
it.
because.
Well, because. Because who's going to? Who are you going to complain to? Who are you going to complain to? There's no one to complain to.
Was there ever anybody there from the government that was doing inspections or coming in to see what the conditions
I've
were?
never ever seen any.
Nobody.
The time that I was there, no.
And this was a federal program or a provincial program, or like you said, a combination of?
It's federal because we're a Crown Ward. Crown Ward is of Canada.
So it was a federal program.
Yeah.
And nobody was paying attention.
Not 100% on that, but as a Crown role, being a Crown, yeah, that's federal. Yeah, Crown
Today,
Ward.
Crown wards are provincial wards, but that is not to say that. Today they would be provincial wards because the Ministry of Children and Youth Services is a provincial ministry. But I'm wondering back then, it's something we have to look into.
That's what I mean. I don't even know who looked at me, who authority is not. I'm just like, okay, I'm going. Yeah, okay, I get in the car. Yeah, I'm going. I've been told what to do all my life. You're not supposed to ask questions. You're supposed to just go and do what you're told.
So is there any recompense or any reconciliation that the government's offering kids from this Bowmanville program?
There is now. There's a class action suit for $600 million, $500 and then $100 million for punitive.
And you're part of that?
Yeah, I'm part of that. Yeah.
And
signed up.
where's that going? Like, do you know roughly how many kids
right
in
now,
total? How many boys are involved? Were involved?
If I had to take a guess, there's at least a couple of thousand of us still. There's been at least 250 that I believe McGinty government or whoever gave them money and got them to sign a hush letter. See, that is well known. That we've already proven that the government has done that, and we got the court approval. This in June, I believe it has just come by, that our case is certified and going through. So it will go through, and it's never going to be enough for
too
anybody.
too late now, right? Like
and
what?
the thing is, there's worse off than me because there's people that could never get calloused up like me to say, "Fuck you, you're not going to hurt me." Why can't we do whatever you want? Make me do whatever you want, but you're not going to own me. You're not going to own me.